right, we are back in Community Editor. I wanted to show a couple other things. I did find another dang bug with the legacy pool that's going to affect everyone, and you're not even going to know you have this bug until it happens. I want to show you something. This is the advanced of Community Editor. Normally, if you go in here, you can look at your enclaves and enclaves on the map. This is the enclave I have here. It's just one I just created now for an example. And then under here are the survivors in that enclave. Each survivor has a unique identifier number. That is how it knows when you save them to your legacy pool. Even though some of these things will be the same or could be the same, even the name, this is how it identifies you so you could have people with the same names and stuff like that, as long as this number is different. But that is not the problem. When you go into your survivors, when you complete a playthrough, certain values of each the survivor get upgraded. Now, if you look through this list, you're going to see a couple here, number 45 and 46. Number of legacies participated in. You can see this is 0. This is a brand new community, brand new survivors. And then you see number of communities led to legacy, meaning how they were the leader. And then 47, last legacy enclave name. In Community Editor, at least, this will always be blank. Then last legacy sequence ID. This will not be blank. This will have a number here that will relate to, from my understanding, the name of your community. It's something along those lines. So these get updated, and then there's one more value. Now, if you look here on the left where the survivor, if I go to the very bottom of that survivor's tree, you'll see last legacy enclave name. Okay, now which this references this value here, from my understanding anyway. When you click on this, this is what it looks like when a survivor has not completed a legacy, okay? It's blank. This is always -5. Now, when you complete a legacy, it will put the name of the community they came from. It will have a not a hex number, but it'll have a number that consists of numbers and letters, a long string value there, and another default community thing. I can show you one. Let me see. Do I have anybody? No, I don't. I can import one just to show you guys what it looks like, a problem user and a good user. I'll do that. We'll do that. So let's do that just so I can show you the problem, because I saved a couple to show that. So that's how it looks when a survivor has not done anything. So we're going to add. This is also how you. I've had people ask this before. In basic mode, if you go to survivors, you'll notice you can no longer import and export survivors. It's not an option anymore. You used to be able to do this in past versions. Kai is working on this, and apparently it's pretty troublesome. But there is a way to do it through advanced, but you got to know what you're doing. In order to do that, you have to go load the community you want, go to advanced, and then you would need to go to that community that I was showing here. You go from the default community save, you go to enclave, survivor saves, and here are the survivors you had. So you have to import a new survivor under here, okay? So what you can do is, if you went to basic, you could simply export one of these guys or anyone from any of these enclaves. Doesn't really matter, even though these guys are Heartland characters. Not Heartland, but on the Trombone Valley map. You can export them. If you were to go to advanced here, you could see this is your enclave. Now, if you want to see an enclave from the map, instead of going under community save, you just go one up under MattSKX collection. And under map saves, you just expand the tree. You're going to scroll down the list here, and you're going to see Enclave Collection. Now here, we'll have the enclaves that are on the map, whether they're hostile or not. They'll all be listed here. Then you can, same thing as that. You can click on them, look at the name, and then you'll know who they are. This one happens to be basically Tressie Huerta. And you could, and I'll show you just as an example, this is her save. This is her identifier number here, which is randomly generated. And this is her. This is all her information from there. So if I wanted this survivor, right, I would simply highlight this, okay? And then I would export the object. You can see I'm already in a folder that has a whole bunch of survivors I backed up. And I'll just name this one Tressie, okay? Just to make it easy. Save it. And boom. Doesn't remove her from there, but now she has been saved. So now say I wanted to go to and put her in my enclave, right? So I would go out of the MattSKX collection area, and I would go back to the community save, because this is where your enclave is. And I would go to the same section, but highlight the top of the tree right above where the survivors from your enclave are. And again, you should be able to just click display name, and it should say the name of the enclave. But right here, this is where you import. Now, when you import, you got to make note of what the number is here. And you always got to go to the next number. Okay? So I'm going to do an import object. Where's Tressie? Tressie's here. We're going to open this, and now you're going to see it's going to ask you to put the values in. So we're at 2. We're going to go to 3. So we got to make all of these 3. Okay. And then boom, you see it's successful. You see how it put 3 here. That's how you know you did it right. And now Tressie's down here. You see? The only other thing you got to make sure, like I mentioned, this unique identifier, make sure this doesn't match anything else in the game. We know it does right now because we just exported it. So you always want to change this. Change it to whatever. You can just take a couple of numbers off. But don't leave that the same, because Tressie in the game already has that number. Now that we changed it, they're different, even though the name is the same. Okay? Now, if we switch to basic and we go to Merry Band, you'll see Tressie is here. Now, the picture doesn't work, but she's here. You can see all of her skills. She's got some not recognized skills, but these are valid skills. They're in the game. It's just community editor doesn't know the friendly name for them, because they do have string values, see? And now she is here. That is how you export and import a survivor into your community. And then you can change it. If you don't want this like this, you don't want this, you can change the name and whatever, and the character and all this stuff. You can change all this stuff. But it's just a matter of getting a character here so you can customize it. I just showed you how to do it with Tressie because it's funny. And you can do it with anyone from any of these enclaves. You can even do your same characters. You could even do one of these, go to advanced. But again, you will always make sure, if you're going to do any character from your own enclave like that, to change this number, or else you're going to have a problem. And they can go all the way down to 1 if you want it, or whatever. Just anything that is not close to the numbers there. But you can see that's there. And you'll see she right now she will have legacy enclave name. You see how she has 0, last legacy, it's nothing here. But if I beat the game with her in my thing, should get this stuff filled out, okay? So now let me show you some problem survivors. I'm going to import 2 survivors to show you one that is working and one that is not. So let's do that. We're going to go to the top of this. We're going to import. I think these work. We're going to check it out. I'm going to import the one that is broken. That is a regular survivor. Where is Hernandez? Hopefully it works. And again, we're going to go to 4. Because now we have that. Successful. That's good. Don't mind that this says Legacy Survivor. The next time you load up the game and play it, the game will automatically change this to Survivor, and it will change this number too to 47 or whatever it is. So don't worry about that. The important part is getting this, and also making sure this number is not like anything else. So I always just change it. I always knock a couple numbers off or change a couple just in case. All right, so I imported him. I know he's broken. Now I'm going to import somebody that should be fine. We'll just pick Duckworth, and we'll do 5, and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, now I'll show you the one that's working first. So this is Duckworth. He's just a guy recruited from the game, myself, not created. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now if we go here and we scroll down, you'll see number of legacies participated in. He has a 1, and he even was in that legacy. He was the leader of that legacy, okay? And here's the sequence ID, like I was saying. But it doesn't list the name. But if we now go to this one down here on the left, see how it says this is all filled out now? Now that sequence ID, I'm pretty sure references this name and this string value in some way. I just don't know how, because I can't see in Community Editor to where they link that number to. I couldn't find it. But I'm pretty sure it links to this name and this string. Pretty sure. Or something along those lines. But regardless, the most important part is this. This is filled out. So that's how a legacy survivor should look like, okay? Every time they complete a legacy, these values should change, and this value should always change to the newest community you completed a legacy with. Now I'm going to show you a broken survivor that I had to fix. This is another guy. I just rolled this guy. It was nothing special about him. I've had this guy for probably 4 years, almost 3 years maybe. Ivan Hernandez, those that know, I've had this guy forever. Now, you'll look at his thing, and you'll notice this looks all right, right? One legacy. He was the leader for 1. He's got a sequence ID. All that looks good. Now we're going to go to last legacy enclave. What the hell is this? So something has caused this value not to update. So now it thinks he didn't have a last legacy. Even though these other values says he is a legacy survivor, he will show up in the legacy pool. This doesn't have a value. And this never was a problem before update 30. Okay? So they've messed around with this legacy pool, and like I said, traits and things got broken. Now this. So now it's looking at all values for legacy survivors, which in truth be told, it probably should have done that from the get-go, but it didn't, okay? And so now what happens with this survivor is if I load him into a community, he will load in as a legacy survivor, but say I delete that community. You know, I'm like, I don't want to finish this one. I'm just going to delete it and let him go back to the legacy pool. Guess what happens? Because there's no value here, he's just deleted. He doesn't go back to the legacy pool. The game considers him not legacy, and he's deleted. Now, I have a fix for this, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. The easiest fix would be to just change these values to something, right? Like I did for the survivor that was crashing. But these values will not let you, they will not stay changed. I've changed these perfectly, and then as soon as I go to basic, and then back to advanced, this blanks it out again. So there's something in the code that is linked. Probably that sequence ID is telling it to blank this. I don't know what it is. But you can't change this manually, which sucks. And if you look in basic, we'll just show you here. You can see he doesn't have any error traits. Everything looks fine. He's just a regular survivor. These aren't showing up. Because these are older survivors, but when I load the game and then they load in, it fills this information out because it's all, you can see this information too, just so you guys know. That information's all here. You see, middle age, it's all here. It's just not showing up in that part of Community Editor until you launch the game, and then I don't know why. It doesn't matter because it just works. So this is a big problem because, like I said, I don't know what causes this problem. I'm only assuming at this point that something happened when I maybe had him in a community and deleted that community, and it blanked out the name instead of putting the other name, or something blanks it out. It's a glitch. It's definitely a glitch they have to fix because it's blanking, something is blanking out the names of communities on legacy survivors. And when it does that, it can totally screw you, because even if you complete a legacy and you decide to disband and it's a legacy survivor, because that value is not filled out, he's going to get deleted there also. So you have to actually complete a legacy, put him in your pool to fix it. There's two ways to fix it. You can complete a legacy and make him go to the pool, or the easiest way is to create a new community with that survivor, and then as soon as you start the community, select the option, the new option to send a legacy pool. Immediately send him to the legacy pool, and then this value, I've already tested this, will get updated with the new community, and then he'll be fine from then on. Until it happens again, and you'll never know it's going to happen. That's the thing that sucks now. So I've seen people talking about this where they disbanded a community that had legacy survivors, and they lost their legacy survivors. This is why. I guarantee you this is why. So those of you that have Community Editor, you should do this. Load up Community Editor, go to Advanced, switch file, go to your legacy survivors, which I've showed before, your legacy save here, legacy survivors, and it's going to suck, but go through each one of your legacy survivors and make sure this value here, last legacy, is filled out. And any of the ones that is not filled out for, you need to make a note of their name, start a new community with them, and immediately send them back into the legacy pool. Then you can open up Community Editor and make sure this value is here, and you should be good. Because this is going to be a silent bug. You're never going to know you have it until you delete a community or finish a legacy and choose disband, and the survivor just is gone. It's really bad. It's a really bad bug. Because this is not like the other one where it's crashing. You have no idea until it's done. So that's that. What I wanted to show with this video is something somebody asked me about. It's another bug with the game. Names. Names for characters. So if you're editing the name of your character, which I do that's how I made a lot of my characters and their names. So, I can do stories, this is what I do. So, but you come in here and you put the name here and you put the last name and then the nickname and then a fourth name. So how this is supposed to work is the first and the last name is what is seen at the top of the character banner when you look at it. The nickname is what hovers above their head in game. This will always be what they're seen as when you open up Community tab in the game, and with the player is highlighted, it will always say the nickname. Now, what's supposed to happen is if this nickname is taken, it's supposed to go to this one. But why the game always does this one and this one the same doesn't make any sense, right? Because if this doesn't work and it goes to this one and says, okay, if that doesn't work, use this, well, that's not going to work either. So I don't understand that. And they're all like that. You see? This is another one. I didn't do this. It's is Ivan. His nickname happens to be his first name. The game shows that. I didn't. And it puts so it's Ivan, Ivan, Ivan. So if any player has Ivan that I have, it's just gonna screw it up. And besides that, there's some times where you change the name here and it changes. It actually changes. And you exit the game and you go into Community Editor, and you launch the game, and then in the game, it changes the name back to what the character was originally called. This usually happens for characters that are edited, but I've seen it happen with characters that are not edited. Characters that you just had the same names, like the same first name in your legacy pool, or the same last name in your legacy pool. The game does not like any names the same, first or last name. It just doesn't like it, and you can see they didn't do the nickname thing properly. They should have put a different thing down here to prevent this problem from happening, because when this thing is the same, William is a common thing. So, of course, another survivor is going to have the name William. I know this is with an E. I'm just an example. Of course, another survivor is going to have William or Carl, and then the nickname's not going to work, and then the game's going to freak out, and it's going to change it to some other random name. It'll just pick a name. There's a way to stop this, okay? And it's not changing this. It's not changing this nickname. This doesn't even work, honestly. I think probably that's why they don't even use it. It doesn't even work because I've changed these two different, and you would think that would fixes it. It doesn't. So if you ever have a problem where the name, you change it to something, or even you have just a survivor's name that keeps changing in your game, this is how you have to fix it, okay? Nobody knows how to do this. I figured it out. You have to go into my favorite section, Advanced, okay? You go to, we'll switch to that file. You go to the survivor that's having a problem with the name, okay? You click on the first name, whatever it is, his first name or his last name. I change everything. So you come here and you'll notice right here it says name list, and this is how it selected this name. It landed on this in the game, and cnames 56 equals Carl. So what you do, you change this number, and you may have to change it a couple of times. I usually go down like 5 or 6 number. I can go to 49, or I'll change it to 60, whatever it is. But some of them have the same. So you'll change the first name, like I'll change this to 60. Then I'll go to the last name. See how this one's 335? I'll change this one to probably 325. And then I'll go to nickname. But you see, this is what I'm talking about. Nickname, it's the same. This value is the exact same as this. So I will change this to 60 and this to 60. And then I'll go back and the name will stick. If it doesn't stick, then you have to change the numbers again until it will finally stick. Trust me. But you may have to come in here and change the number a couple of times. And that is how you fix the character names that keep changing, okay? Also, there is another thing I want to share with you guys. If you're editing survivors, okay, and you're importing survivors, and say you imported a female survivor, right, and you change them to male, right, because you can do that. You can change the name and all that stuff to male. There are certain things that do not get changed. You'll notice over here, there is a trait, yeah, she's the they category. It's a bad example. Of course, the one I pick has that. Yeah, there's a they category, okay? But normally it's he or she. All right? And if I change this one to a lady, it would not change this. I would have to get rid of the debug he, and there's a debug she. You see? So you would, and this doesn't fix it completely. So you would take this one out here, boom, and then you would get she and put it in there. But that doesn't fix it. That doesn't change. So when you go to advanced now, and I'll show you, there's still a spot for the survivor down here. Or is it up here? Right here. Pronoun he. So it will not update this value. You have to manually update this, and it will change. So whatever you change it to, make sure you change it here, because if you do not, then in-game, they will still be calling the character she or he, and there will be a male. It's just weird. There's even some really weird tags in here. If you look at this, look at this. Is male, is homosexual. It has bisexual. Like, why is this in the game? That's just kind of weird, right? Why? I didn't even know these tags were in there. And they don't even mean anything, as far as I know. They don't do anything. The character doesn't. There's no relationships in the game, so I don't know why this is in here. It's just funny, actually. Not that I have a problem with it. It's just weird and funny. Anyway, another thing I want to show you. I think I have figured out how to fix the Boon Trader. The Boon Trader has been broken. For, I don't know how long has it been broken, guys. For 4 years now? I know I always say that, but it's true. Most of the things that are broken have been broken for 4 years, since the beginning of the game. Those of you that remember that far back, remember the Boon Traders were not recruitable characters. They were on your map. They did not bug you for missions like a regular Enclave does. and they would trade you things. But not only would they trade you things, each day that passed and they got new items, they were all good items. They were basically the same items when they first come to your house asking you to trade. They were those things. They were rucksacks, guns, good stuff that you would want to buy. But when they made this change to make them start asking missions, I knew it turned them into a regular enclave. And now I found proof of that in Community Editor, and I think I found a way to fix it. So I'm going to show you advanced again. What a surprise. So we're going to go to the Boon Trader Enclaves. I'm going to show you 2 of them, and you'll see the problem right away. So Enclave Collection. And if you guys find this shit boring and you don't want me to do videos like this, just let me know. But I think this stuff is interesting, and I think people want to know. So let's find the Boon Trader. Here it is. So you can see here, Boon Trader, okay? Now on this here, you can see it labels them as the starter, part of the legacy trade boon. And you can see down here, oh, I changed it. That's right, I changed it because I'm doing a test. Did I change it on this one? Oh, no, I didn't. See this value here? Restock schema. Restock schema refers to what items they're going to carry as each day ends. And if you look at here, it says Trader Legacy, Trader Enclave, Restock Schema. That is the schema it should be. It should never change from that. But what happens is when they start being an enclave, it changes. Now I have the schema here. Yeah, I've been writing schemas down because I'm doing some testing. And what happens when they become broken is it changes to this one. Now, if you read that, you can immediately see what the problem is. It says Enclave Generation, Enclave, Enclave Arc, Allied Enclave, Arc Restock. So it's treating it just like some regular Allied Enclave and just restocking it like a regular Allied Enclave would be restocked. You know, they get whatever. They get junk usually. Maybe some gas cans and shit if you're lucky. But it has completely lost this. It has completely lost the Trader Legacy restock. Like, I don't know why they have not figured this out. I've only been complaining about this for 3 years at least, and said, hey, you know, the restock has been broken. You know, every time the Boon Trader now the day changes, they never sell the good shit anymore. This is 100% why. Because it changes to this, and they get regular Enclave bullshit. So I'm testing right now. I'm going to tell you guys how it goes. You guys can test it if you want. And the way I got the good string, you can write it down yourself. I'll leave it up for a second if you want to write it down. This is the good one right here. And this is the bad one when it's broken. The only way I was able to find the good one was to start a new community, and as soon as that community started, I exited the game when the Boon Trader came up to trade stuff. Then I immediately came in here and saw this is what it is. And then when I went to, this is my Mickey Enclave that I'm doing my stories with right now, and they have a Boon Trader on here. So I'm testing it on this one. So if I go in here, Enclave, I've already changed it, and it's sticking. Unless it's changed again, we'll see. Hopefully it didn't. Oh no, I don't want that. Doing the wrong section. MattSKX collection. All right. Enclave collection. Should be only a couple here. Yeah, here's the Boon Trader on this map. But I already did a mission for them. Yeah, here's the Boon Trader. And it had already changed this value to this allied bullshit one. So I changed it back. I went in here, clicked on it, and manually pasted this one in there. Okay? So now I'm going to wait for that game. I'm going to load it up and wait for the day to change and then see if it starts getting the good items again. If it is, there's another fix for you, UL. There you go. But we can have some fun with this if this works, because I've been making a list of restocks. I made a list of Ray's. Ray has his own restock. This is the best one. I have the weapons for all restock. Now, if we can take this and put this on Enclaves, they will get all of the high-powered weapons that the Weapons for All guys sell as every time they restock. How cool would that be? So you could get an Enclave that restocks all these guns over and over and over. You could do some cool shit. Like I did, I got the ones from here, like the Mad Scientist, Izzy B and them, their stuff. Chavez, so that would be the Red Talon weapons. You could get Red Talon weapons on an Enclave. It's just cool, you know. I'm just looking at it. Here's the Navy SEAL one. But I want to fix the Boon Trader is what I'm interested in. If this fixes it, then I'm going to try the Weapons for All. Put that on a couple of things and see how it goes. Anyway, this video is too long, but I've explained numerous things in here. Hopefully, you guys learned something. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I'm no expert at this, but I know enough to be dangerous. Let's put it that way. That's it.